Here's George Homengo and Larry Aiken.
With evidence, legal evidence, that the Bureau of Indian Affairs had cheated the Indians time after time, and they're cheating us right now. But getting back to the subject of unemployment, I want to just close by saying we got 90% unemployment in Red Lake. And nobody cares. And I just read here this morning's paper, I brought it along. It says here, Reagan needs to show he cares, aides say. Williamson went around visiting the homeless, the soup kitchens, and everything else. The trauma is there. Now he cares. People are starving to death riding in their cars, freezing in their cars. He cares. I think he better change his movie script, get down to the basics, to the human compassion. And this is why that we have a proclamation of 1983. Here is the picture of the Washington Monument. It says here, around the campfires of my Red Lake chiefs, they held an Indian council, and they voted to rename the Washington Monument to be renamed the All-American Indian Shaft because of the treatment that the American Indians is getting from the Reagan administration. And here, I'm going to leave that for your files. And one for you, and then he can read it to you because I understand you don't read too good. But I want to say something about the Onegin people, Joe Aiken, Larry Aiken, Roger Aiken. I don't know how many Aikens. I guess that's how we started that scholarship program. We had so many Aikens. And I was on the firing line when we started the scholarship program, which amounted to about $5,000. And we have to give credit to some of the old-time legislators like John McKee, Leonard Dickinson, and some of the League of Women Voters who were on our side, and many of them. Henry Bassford from Becker County, he was a fighter for us. But today we don't have any fighters for us. They were fighting to do us in. But Leech Lake was the headquarters at one time for all the inner reservations. They had the agency there, they had a hospital there, they had a sanatorium there. So as time went on, they became educated. Now they're up here in the studios and taking care of our business and providing the news media coverage that we're entitled to. And I want to say thank you, and I want to congratulate you guys' tenacity and hanging in there. And you guys are coming along. But don't be too damn polite now. If you're going to be an advocate for the Indian people, that's all I got to say.
Okay, Ron. George, we had some footage I think we're going to see,
Yeah.
and we're going to make some comments because whenever we talk about Roger Jourdain and the Red Lake Indian Reservation, we always come up with the 1979 siege, May 19, 1979 siege of
Right.
Red Lake. And we have some footage, and perhaps we can show that, and Roger can make some comments
Sure.
about it.
If you look at the monitor there, Roger, we'll be running the film strip on that. Maybe you can make comments as we see that.
Well, right there, the youngsters who were provided pot by some of those criminal dissidents up there, we call them the grass army of those dissidents. I'm not going to mention their names, and you guys all know them. They destroyed one of the best law and order centers we ever had in the state of Minnesota. It was a model, but it was corrupt from within, and they wanted to destroy their records. And besides, there was over $22,000 cash court funds that was laying there. They took that, but the FBI and the BIA say it wasn't so. It is so. They covered it up for them. There's the enemy, public enemy number one of Red Lake, and he's hollering there. He says about my basic rights. He destroyed all the basic rights of all the women that he's raped. He's in prison now. He should stay there forever. There's the remnants of my home. It's all pure jealousy, and the green-eyed monster prevails there. All right? The reason why they took after us was because they couldn't carry treasure or any place else. They wanted full control of the Red Lake Reservation. They were going to exploit it because of the underworld characters that they have connections with, and also right here it proves with this communist newspaper. And we have finally overcome it, and by virtue of the last election, it was we were completely vindicated because of the overwhelming election we had, returning all the incumbents of the council. And I want to compliment the council because of their stature, standing up to all tremendous odds. We had FBI over there destroying everybody, giving everybody the cavalier treatment of my staff and everybody else, trying to entrap them. The FBI I don't have any respect for I don't have, their credibility is all shot as far as I'm concerned. They said that I was keeping their records. I wouldn't give it to them. They still got their records. They had them ever since June 8th. And they went over all the records. They haven't been able to find one dime that I stole. The ones that have been stealing is the BIA and the United States government from the Red Lake Indians. Not only the Red Lake Indians, also Fond du Lac, Leech Lake. I got to say that because you guys are on both sides of me here.
Okay. Rod, one of the questions I'd like to ask you, because it has come up on several occasions, that why, you know, you're 70 years old, Rod, and George and I both know we respect age and we respect people who believe in traditions of Indian people. But during the siege in 1979, having been in office for 23, 24 years, why would Roger Jourdain want to go back? Why would he want to continue on the tribal leadership?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, I'm not going to back off from the Bureau of Indian Affairs arbitrary decisions that they make against me and leaking out deliberately to the press, conducting a smear campaign against me and my family and against the Red Lake Tribal Council. We stood up to them, and we're going to stand up to them again. In fact, we'll drag them screaming into the U.S. courts here pretty soon, and they're going to have to take an oath. For the first time, maybe they'll tell the truth. And every one of them don't have any respect at all for the Indian councils. They want to get control of the councils here in Minnesota, the Bureau of Indian Affairs. They said you got too much power. Honorable Martinez's decision said that they recognize the sovereign authority of the Indian tribes, but the Bureau of Indian Affairs wants to suppress that authority. That's why I'm in here, fighting the Bureau of Indian Affairs, because they denied me my right to education. I tried to borrow some of the Red Lake Tribal funds to go to school. They said, no, you have to have a life insurance of $1,000 for a $150 tuition fee. I sent it for them, and I was turned down. So that's why I'm on the firing line for the education, the employment, and the rights of the Indian people, because we can't have this. The Bureau of Indian Affairs are the ones that have been manipulated by the politicians in Washington. They're getting their marching orders from the congressmen and the senators and other public interest, the PAC people.
Roger,
Now, before I finish, here, back in 1964, we had one of the best congressmen, Odin Lang, and he's 6'7". February 1954, he said in the Congress, on the Florida House, he says, the Indian, the Americans' forgotten race. I'm going to leave this here for the record. And today, we are still forgotten, suppressed, swept under the White House rug. In the Imperial Mansion, White House. How are we going to ever come to the forefront? How is anybody ever going to respect the Indian people? You talk to some of your friends in some gathering like this here in a conference and say, oh, somebody will get up and say, you know, the best friend I ever had was an Indian. Yeah. Well, I always counter by saying, the best friend I ever had was a white man. And I got a lot of them, a heck of a lot of them. There's only a handful of those agitating against us all the time, and that's the reason why I'm keeping my sanity.
Raj, what do you see as the future of the American Indian people, and in particular the people within Minnesota?
Well, as far as Minnesota is concerned, we do have here back in the 50s. Back in the 50s, we prevailed upon the state legislators to establish the State Indian Affairs Commission. And so we did, and we were legally recognized in the state of Minnesota by virtue of that statute. And the first executive director we hired was a person over there from